Previously on Story Hoard.
Your scholar friend, after speaking with him about his inquiry about his relics, said he had to leave very suddenly.
Zeph, something about this isn't right. Why are you guys lying to us?
There was a kingdom, and a monarch, and a plan. That plan is failing.
Alright, well, how much time do we have before this thing breaks loose? And, what is going to happen when it breaks loose? And if you guys sealed it away in the first place, why can't you, do it again?
Let us figure out what needs to get done. Then, if we need you. If. That's a big if. Because this is not your burden.
And yet, it's our world. So, if you wouldn't mind giving us a little bit of input on the matter?
For now, tell no one until we know what to do about the situation. Right now, the four of you, the three of you plus Aebis, are standing in the shadow of the teacher's home after everything that just went down. I don't know that you realized quite how much time had passed as you were winding your way through their absolute maze of a cliffside home and learned a lot of things in the process. But it's been a few hours now from when you first went in, and it is twilight. What do you guys want to do?
Curl up and cry?
Aebis is kind of out of it. He's a little bit in shock from what happened. He's just kind of not freaking out and not catatonic, but just kind of limply staring back up at the home and kind of calmly turning his head this way and that, just taking in the whole of the estates.
Okay, Momori size. Are any of you hungry? You know what? Never mind. You're all coming with me. We're going back to Thicia's. We're all going to sit down. She probably still has the oven on. We're just gonna sit and be warm and have a snack. Come on. Let's go.
What's the catch?
What?
What's the catch? What do we need to do once we get there?
Eat bread. That's the catch. You will eat bread.
Squints.
just come on. Just if you don't want to, that's fine. But if you like some fresh homemade bread and to sit and talk about this somewhere quiet and chill where we can process everything that just happened and talk about things.
Think about this, Sildra. Would you rather go home?
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, let's go.
All right.
As we're walking, Mateo's going to whisper to Sildra, but loud enough that he doesn't care if anyone else hears. So do you think that they were just going to, drop Aebis off on the side of the road or something?
Dude,
what was their plan?
I don't think they had one. I think they were just flying by the seat of their pants there. Which, I mean, Ithaca does sometimes, but Actria?
Yeah, it was weird. What are they gonna do? Just, knock him out and then put him outside the gates and be like, don't come back?
I mean, they might have just kept him in that closet, honestly.
Yes, they could have forgotten them in there, and then,
Mm-hmm.
time would have taken its course, I guess.
The estates are big.
It's true. Lots
Could
of
get lost in
closets. They
there.
could have forgot which one he was in.
Exactly. Could have lost the key.
Momori looks over her shoulder and gives them both a small glare.
Could have been dead as a doorknob.
Aebis turns around at you, Sildra with kind of big eyes. Says nothing, but just stares at you with big eyes at that comment.
They give him a little smile like nothing's wrong, and then go back to whispering at Mateo.
Y'all are such meanies! Oh gosh.
This guy reacts like he's never been inside a closet before.
I know, right?
Alright. Oh. So, Aebis. Just out of curiosity, why were you breaking into our teacher's estates?
He kind of nods his head and says, well, I was being chased by the librarian and tried to shake her off and found the nearest building to hide in. And I wasn't exactly aware that it was their home. And then I got chased some more. And there were more of them. And then something hit me, and then everything got dark. And then I woke up in a closet.
Yeah, there's been a lot of closets happening today.
You were so afraid of an old lady that you're running around like a scared deer, breaking into people's houses.
You went into a third-story window.
He blushes at that comment from you, Sildra. He's like, it's not the first time. I just didn't have a good grip on the wall is all. I would have made it if it wasn't for my bag.
Why are you going to third-story windows?
To get away from the scary, magical, unaging woman. He's kind of whips around at you and Mateo. He says, I don't know how frequently you two have been around deeply, deeply powerful people or beings, but I spent 2 minutes in a closed space with one of those beings, as he kind of gestures back to the estates. He says, I spent 2 minutes in her presence and could feel the arcane waves coming off of her. And then she starts chasing me down.
Okay, but first you ran. I think we're forgetting the series of events here. You got scared, you ran away. No one chased you. Until you were running around town, doing whatever.
Alright. Not to interrupt this very good line of questioning, but we should talk about this over bread, I think. MT, possibly tea as well. Are we there yet, Grace?
The four of you make it back to Thistia's home in the center of town. You know, she's in, the girls are in, they're kind of playing in the main living space. Playing guard. Windy is trying to smack Holly in the stomach with a stick in the... like she's trying to run her through. And Thistia is just kind of trying to get some dinner on the table as, you know, these kid shenanigans are happening. She sees you, Momori, come in, and she smiles big at you and wipes her hands on her apron as she comes to greet you, and she says, "Oh, there you are, kid. Oh, it's been a long day, hasn't it? I haven't hardly seen you around. Oh, and you brought some friends with you, didn't you? Hello, everyone. Come on in, come on in. Oh, Oh, you look like you're pale and shaking. Here, come on in. And she kind of like brings Aebis over to a big plush chair in the living room. She looks at everyone. She's like, "Okay, so we're gonna have a few extra seats at dinner. Girls, go get the table set. Go, shoo, stop stabbing your sister. Go." And the little girls run off to get the table set up for you all.
This is, if it's okay, can we use the porch area for a bit? Where there's some things we need to discuss, and also I hope it's okay that I've just brought these people over. I don't want to intrude, but I didn't know where else to go, and um, is it okay?
Momori, she puts a hand to your cheek and she's like, "Hun, any friend of yours is always welcome here. We've always got food for others. We always got an extra couple seats at the table. We'll work on getting dinner here. We can bring you your food outside. If you guys need your space to do whatever, you're welcome to it. Just, it's fine, hun."
All right. All right. Um, Momori kind of motions to the rest of the party, like to the porch. She goes in and sits down.
Yeah, you all circle around to the back side of Thistia's home. There's an entryway out the kitchen door to a quiet little garden patio space that's got a couple of benches, a couple of like a small sitting area that the four of you are able to just kind of hunker down in for now. As you guys are getting settled, Wendy and Holly bring out 2 plates each for all of you of a nice home-cooked meal of just roasted vegetables, some warm slices of bread with butter, and, just set the table for you as Vistia kind of smiles from the doorway and waves the kids back inside to give you guys some privacy.
Momori inhales her food.
Mateo savors the warmth of this food in his hands.
Yeah, the bread is so warm. It's fresh. You may or may not have noticed when you got inside Thistia's home, it smelled like fresh out of the oven bread, which it usually does. As the resident town baker, she's always got a home full of just the most delicious smelling things being made at any time. But she was working on getting some fresh bread on the table for dinner, and the rolls you guys have with your meal are just piping hot, just delicious.
Isildra's kind of like looking around as if to sort of double check their surroundings, like make sure they're not missing anything. They're very suspicious of free meal without any sort of like social obligation. But they will eat.
Yeah, you all eat. Aebis is kind of just like picking at his food. He's chewing on like the corner of his bread roll, but not really having much of an appetite. Uh, he's just kind of sitting there, a little bit rocking back and forth in his seat.
Oh my goodness. Ugh. Aebis, do you have a place to stay for the night?
Blinks.
All right. I'll double check with Thistia, but I'm sure we could find a couch for you here somewhere.
He blinks again, and this time kind of shakes his head. He's like, "No, that's very kind. You don't have to do that. I'll find something around here. I'd hate to impose or be a bother."
You're not a bother, and it wouldn't be an imposition. However, if you feel more comfortable somewhere else, that's also fine. But I'm sure Thistia would be fine with you staying here as well.
He nods his head and goes back to picking at his bread roll, of just kind of breaking it up into just smaller bits of bread.
You're gone.
Mateo is like visibly getting annoyed. It's like, Aebis, what the hell do you have to be so anxious about?
I was locked in a closet. for an hour.
Yeah,
And for how much of that were you passed out?
I couldn't tell you. Look, I've had the last 6 years of my life's work taken from me as I was threatened at sword point and concussed by 3 incredibly powerful weirdos in a cave. I think I have space to be a little bit distressed over this.
Uh-huh. And Mateo just like gives Sildra a look.
Sildra gives a look back.
Speaking of, I don't believe you two have met. Sildra, this is Aebis. Aebis, this is Sildra. I don't have introductions other than that.
Hi.
Hi. We sat across from each other in the library basement earlier today.
Oh, blast.
That we
I
did.
forgot about that.
That was today. And he kind of puts his head in his hands.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been quite the long day, hasn't it?
You know it has?
Oh, God, did we fight those people today, too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Was that
did.
this morning?
That was this morning.
Been a long day.
Mm-hmm.
Momori kind of, like, rubs Aebis's shoulder, like, a little bit, and, like, he kind of gives the other two, like, a look, like, you need to torture this poor man. Momori's tired. Oh, okay. Not to drop more stuff on you, Aebis, but we do need to talk about your relics. As it turns out, are indeed connected to our teachers. Fun fact, they know where they came from.
Are you serious?
Unfortunately, yes.
You wouldn't happen to have the relics, would you?
No, Aebis, I don't. And considering what they are, I really hope that I never have to deal with them again. I can't believe we let Mateo just walk around with them in his bag. I can't believe you were just holding them in your possession for, like, I don't know, months, like years. These are I know you don't know, but these are very dangerous old magic things. And they're connected to this lost kingdom with this lost monarch. And this monarch is like awakening. And that's not good for us because he kind of wants to suck the life out of our entire world. So, you know, unfortunately, the relics all getting together and being in one place. And I mean, well, I guess fortunately, we now know that the monarch is waking up to come and, destroy our world. But unfortunately, is also waking up. So there's that. But I thought you should know that we're not keeping them from you because we don't like you. It's because they're super dangerous and bad.
Avis looks like he's on the verge of tears.
Want to go run a lap, city boy?
Doesn't know what to do. Panic. Doesn't. What do you do when Amanda's gonna cry?
Here, want another piece of bread?
He takes it. Avis takes the bread and just kind of chews as he basically takes in all of this information that you just shared with him. Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot for one guy to take in at once. And he slowly works his way through that slice of bread before swallowing and kind of struggling with that for a second. As he says, I guess I have to go back there then.
Sorry, what?
And he like makes to get up from the table.
Hey, where are you
Wait.
going?
1 second. Go back where?
to get my relics. To
No, Aebis.
No, I have
No.
to. I have to get my relics. I have to get they have, if I'm hearing this right, they have all the answers about this missing kingdom civilization that's been scrubbed from the records of history.
Mateo stands up. And how are we supposed to know that you aren't working for this god? You've been collecting all of these relics. You know, you might not even know that you're working for him. And maybe collecting all these things and bringing them together in one place is exactly what it wants.
He looks more composed than he has in the time since he's fallen out of the closet. As Mateo, you hurl these accusations at him, he kind of grits his teeth before kind of rolling his shoulders and says, I know the influence of a god. I'm familiar with what that feels like. And I'll have you know that I haven't trained and studied as an academic and a historian for going on a decade now, to be told by some kid that I might be being manipulated by some spooky dead magical god. Like,
Aebis, what is 10 years to something that has lived for 1500? Do you really think that that any of us are within our depth here? You think you're above that?
I think I know what it's like to be manipulated. And I know what my own agency looks and feels like. These relics, and he kind of like brings a hand down onto the table. He's like, these relics were inactive and stagnant up until whenever you guys found them. And that's not me talking out of my ass. That is me saying that they have not done diddly squat, at least for as long as I've had them. Whatever they're doing now is new.
Mateo rolls his eyes. So what? Just because you haven't noticed it means it hasn't happened?
It hasn't happened to me.
Look, we're all on the same team here, so just everybody chill out. Aebis, I don't know what you're planning on doing with these relics, but they can hang out with the teachers for a little bit while we try and figure out how this is all going to work. And, try to stop the world from ending and stuff.
Aebis flops back down in his chair. He grabs another roll off the table.
Mateo huffs and then finally sits back down.
All right. How do we feel about tea? I feel like tea would be good right now. Momori pops into the kitchen, start making a pot of tea. If anyone has any requests, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna make us some chamomile calming tea. All right, Momori puts the thing on the stove top and leans over, puts her head in her hands, and leans against the counter. God. Ugh.
You okay there, baby girl? Thystia pokes her head around the corner from the living space into the kitchen.
Yeah, it's just been a long day, and a lot of things have happened. But one of one of my friends. He doesn't have a place to stay, I don't think, yet for the night. I kind of told him he could crash on the couch here if that's okay, but it sounds like he might go somewhere else, but I just thought, I don't know.
She starts rubbing small circles on your back. She's like, if he needs a space, he's got a space here. Girls will budge up, and if you don't mind, sharing one of their beds, you can have, the spare room if you need. Or, however it breaks down. We got space for one more, you know that.
Thank you, Misty.
Hun, what's up? What's got you this way? Maybe a little bit sunnier.
Well, I just haven't been feeling all that well. Momori rubs the back of her neck.
Oh, hun, tell me it's not a chest thing. I know that's you struggle with, that kind of area. Here, I think we've got some sort of rub for that. I'll check the cabinets, but if you're feeling tight, short of breath, just let me know. I'll take over the delivery shifts, and you don't have to do quite so much running around. And I'm sure with Kalia and her guard, that's going to be even more strain on you. So just take it easy, okay? Never be afraid to just ask for some time for yourself, okay, hon? We've got people looking after you. You know that, right?
Yes, I know. And you don't have to worry about the delivery. Take care of that. It's not a problem.
Oh, no. If you're coming down with something, I don't want you running around town. I don't want you, exerting yourself. And, honestly, I've been testing one too many of those new little hand pies. I might have been kind of, not the best with it. So I could probably stand to work some of those pies off. And she kind of like good-naturedly kind of like pats at her belly.
Oh, Momori laughs, and Thestia, there is absolutely no need, but if you do, you can go ahead and make worries.
I'll have you running around town in no time. Don't worry. Once you've turned the corner or whatever on this, once you give the go-ahead, I'll put you right to work, And she kind of like wags a finger at you. She says, once you're ready to go, just let me know.
Momori nods, and she's smiling, but her hands have the counter just tighter, and she pours the hot water and goes back to her friends.
Mateo has been like keeping an eye on Aebis.
God,
And it's just
sat there in silence.
Oh, he's glaring at you from across the table.
Assume we're just glaring at each other. And Mateo's like fidgeting with something in his hand.
Sildra's looking through the door like, oh god, Momori, please come back. Don't leave me like this.
Oh my god. I can just see like the scene. It's like when you return to your cats and two of them are having a fight, and then one of them is just looking at you like, oh please.
Help.
Just walking back into Sildra's panic phase. All right, who would like some tea?
I would love some, thank you, Momori. Staring at Aebis.
Momori slowly and carefully pours Mateo a cup of tea into one of the very mismatched yet homey mugs that Listia has around the house. Okay, all right. You two, whatever is happening between the both of you, just figure it out, because we have a world to save, and there's not going to be time for our petty disagreements, I don't think. Probably not. Maybe a little, but probably not. And whatever y'all need to say to each other, just figure it out let's hash it out now, because I can't deal with all of this tension right now.
You're an asshole and I don't like you.
Congrats, join the club.
That's
More
most-
chokes on her tea.
Soldier loudly sips on theirs.
Breathes through his nose. Thank you for the tea, Momori.
You're welcome. If you need to stay here, you are more than welcome to stay here. I just checked with Thystia. You're golden. Just an FYI.
Thank you. Yeah, I might take you up on that offer. You said that they and kind of like gestures over his shoulder. They know about where my relics came from. They're all tied together somehow. There's a sealed kingdom and a monarch that's going to break out and destroy everything, and they're in the middle of this all. Is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
Aebis, I'm curious. Do you think that every relic that you find belongs to you?
Not everyone, but they belong to someone. And that's why I do what I do. I figure out who these belong to, who they're from, who they were meant for, where they come from. I'm not treating them like they're mine. I'm just trying to understand who they are. And right now, from where I'm standing, these things are tied to, obviously, something way bigger than what I was anticipating. And those three beings are directly tied to it all. And he's kind of laughs. He says, maybe I'm just from a different town, different, culture. People don't live, usually, longer than 100 odd years if they're lucky and healthy. What the fuck is going on with those three? And why the hell should I trust them with any of this? Anyone? He's looking around the table. Any reason at all that I should believe anything that those three have to say? Because from what I've heard from just the regional gossip and from the sparse conversations I've had with people in town here, those three are who knows how many hundreds of years old, and no one knows what they did to get to that point.
Well, it's at least 1,500, just in case we do have the numbers here. But the thing is, Aebis, these three are the only ones who know about these things. So it doesn't matter if you trust them or not. You're going to have to talk to them if you want to know more.
Oh no, I'm planning on that. Don't you worry. What I want to know is if what they're saying about these relics is true. That's one thing. Why should I trust them, though? They're old, they've seen some shit, and they've probably done some shit in order to get that old. And forgive me if I'm not the most blindly trusting of magical matters, but I've seen too much to just take this at face value.
Momori puts a hand on Aebis's shoulder, and she kind of rubs her temple with her other hand. Aebis, I understand your concerns. I trust Seth. I trust Seth with with everything. I've known him for a few years now, and granted, I'm his apprentice and he's my teacher, but I've never known him to be anything but kind and, well, a little messy, to be completely honest, but good and well-intentioned in everything he's done.
He hit me over the head with the butt of a sword and stuck me in a closet.
You broke into his house.
And also, the butt of the sword. I think we can all agree that's the best end to be hit with, all things considered. And I know that you're afraid right now, and quite frankly, so am I. But you may also want to consider that so are they. They're really, really scared. They're scared of whatever is behind these relics and this force that's coming for our world. And yes, do I think we all should have sat down and handled this differently? Of course. Do I understand why they resorted to the measures they resorted to? Also, yes. That I'm perfectly handle myself in stressful situations. In any case, I don't have a good reason for you to trust our teachers, Aebis. However, I can tell you that I do. I do completely trust them.
He's looking at you, Momori, and you see some of the tension leave his shoulders. He takes a deep breath and says, I don't like feeling like I don't know things. I mean, normally it's, it's part of the job. It is learning and is, knowing that you don't know everything, but there's a difference between being led to an answer and just feeling like an idiot,
Yeah.
I do want to find out what exactly is what's going on, with them, with this monarch, and I'll help however I can, for whatever it's worth.
Worth a lot, Aebis. Thank you. Alright, anything else? Do we need to get anything else off our chest while we're all three of us here together?
Really good.
Mateo's still kind of glaring at him.
Well, they don't like each other, so there's nothing more I can do about that.
Aebis kind of pushes his bangs out of his face. He's like, what are you three gonna do? I mean, where do you go from here with all of this? I mean, do you sound the alarm? Do you go back to the estates? What do you do?
I mean, I kind of want to take a nap personally.
Yeah, no, that's about right. He kind of chuckles.
Well, right now, we're waiting to see how long they think we have. Because we're not sure if this is a right now thing or a couple 100 years from now thing. So, until we know it's a now thing, I'm not going to worry so much about it. He is obviously worried about it.
Well, Mori has her head in her hands. I'm going to do whatever I can to help, but I'm going to do whatever I can to help. So, yes, we're going to check in with the teachers and make a plan from there based on what they can find out based on these new relics, I guess.
Well, he kind of nods his head. Guess we're all just kind of gonna be waiting for them to tell us what to do next.
All right, so you're going to help us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll help.
Yes! 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 Join the team! Discount Indiana Jones! Sorry, that's been my nickname for him for like the past week.
Accurate?
No, I love it. I love it.
All right. Well, okay. So everyone, we're all okay. We're all good. Aebis, you have somewhere to stay. You two have homes, beds, sleeping, all of that, and we'll figure this out in the morning. If anyone has anything else.
Vistia pokes her head out onto the kind of back door. Her hair's tied up. She looks like she's getting ready to turn in for the night. She says, if the gang of you want to sleep over, I've got some extra pillows and things. Girls are in bed, so I'm just going to ask that, voices down. Otherwise, they'll never, once they're down, it takes one noise and they're back up again. I cannot read one more storybook tonight, I tell you.
Mori laughs a little. Yeah, duly noted.
Like I said, house is open. You three are welcome to stay if you need a place to stay. If not, just make sure you all get home safe, okay? Mateo, tell your mama. Oh, I saw her outfit in the market today. She's looking good. Your mama's looking very good. Sildra, I saw your pop too. Tell him he's looking good. Tell him and your mom they're both looking good. Mateo, your mom's looking good. Everyone's looking good these days.
I will certainly tell him a message.
Mateo looks like he's sucked on a lemon.
All right, you kids. I'm turning in. Like I said, Momori, I'll see you in the morning, dearie. Aebis, I think it was. There's a bed made up for you over in the living room. So feel free to turn in for the night. Sink's over there. And she makes her way back inside.
Oh my god.
You posted that artwork of Thistia, Maddie.
Yeah.
And now I'm just channeling as much warmth into one being as I can.
Oh, and I love it.
And she's adopted like all of these cats. So many cats.
She's not old. She's oh my god, she's just like in her 30s. And she's like, you guys are all in your 20s, but actually you're babies and you're my babies now.
Yep. And she's like, oh my gosh, anything I can do to help these poor sad children. Oh my gosh.
These wet kittens.
Yeah.
She saw you guys all just being kind of funky around food, and she's like, oh no, I gotta step in. I gotta step up.
God.
These kids don't know how to handle a warm meal. Okay, I understand what I'm dealing with now.
All right. Well, I'm going to bed. So the rest of you can do whatever you want. Momori is collecting mugs if everyone's done with them. And plates and such. And oh gosh, she looks just so tired. So tired.
Poor Momori.
Aebis gets up and starts helping you kind of clear the table and bring things into the kitchen.
Ah!
He puts some stuff away and he's like, I think I'm gonna go lie down. Thanks for not being insufferably distrusting of me.
Well, I guess you're welcome. I feel like that's standard. Sure, you're welcome.
He smiles at you and just kind of goes to get himself ready for bed.
Okay, good. God, what are we gonna do her to? Oh, Rory swings back and porch to check on these two.
Mateo's just like pacing and fiddling with something in his hand.
Is Sildra still here?
Sildra's physically, technically here.
Mm.
Sildra's very tired. Sildra's staring off in the distance and contemplating absolutely nothing because their brain does not have the capacity to comprehend anything right now. Because they just found out the one person they trust is a being from a different dimension, and that there's an elder one trying to destroy the world, and their friend question mark is having them over for dinner while their other friend question mark argues with their newest captive question mark, and it's all very strange, and they don't know what to do, and their father got mentioned, and they're just very tired.
All right, Momori walks over and pokes Sildra on the forehead.
I
Go to bed.
This sort of stares her down and slowly stands up, walks over to the bedroom without breaking eye contact.
Looks over to Momori's bedroom?
Goes over to
Yeah,
a
I've never
bedroom
missed this.
and just falls asleep on the floor.
Is this Momori's bedroom?
They don't know, they're just asleep here now.
It is your bedroom because I'm not going to allow Sildra to walk in on Thystia and her girls.
Oh my god.
This is Sildra's room now.
It is not!
They lock the door. No, I'm just kidding.
Momori turns to Mateo. Only one left standing.
When Mateo saw Momori poke Sildra in the forehead, he was like, ah, shit, I gotta clean my eye.
Oh.
Momori, do you have... I need, some water.
Yeah, of course. Leads him over to the sink? You know what? Fantasy sink, yes.
Sildra poked me in the eye today.
I'm sorry. Why?
And he just, pulls his eyelid down and pops his glass eye out of his socket. And, a little liquid comes out. And he turns away from Momori because he knows this is gross, probably.
Margaret, this is just me cutting in. Did you research what it's like to pop out a glass eye?
Yes, I have my list.
Okay.
I'm not going to get this inaccurate. So he washes it with water and a mild soap.
Good.
He takes out a nice cloth from his bag and sets it on there to air dry. And then just pushes his hair over his eye socket so that he can turn to Momori.
All right, Momori is not weirded out by this. Her throat got ripped out episode 7 or whatever. This is the least of Momori's problems.
She didn't have to look at it,
All
though.
right. Fair. Okay. Yeah. Momori's seen a lot. Blah. Okay. There's couches. There's I think the kids went to sleep with Thystia, so there's a bed.
Where's Aebis?
Aebis is parked on the big cushy chair in the sitting room.
He's just in a chair. Oh my gosh.
It's a
Okay.
cushy chair. He's just kind of
Alright.
like curled up on it.
I guess he's in the sitting room.
Then I will sleep in the sitting room.
What? Momori hides her shock.
There is a lounge seat there, yeah.
Then I will lounge on the lounge seat and watch him while I probably don't fall asleep tonight.
How interesting.
Momori walks over, puts a throw blanket over Mateo, then trudges over to her room, steps over Sildra, and face plants into her bed. Oh, and then she's getting ready for bed, stares at Sildra's unmoving form, and grabs a blanket and tucks the blanket around their sprawled carcass. And then she goes to bed.
Dead to the world.
I guess.
Oh my.
Sleepover. I bet you didn't think that we were going to have a sleepover this episode, did you, Grace?
Based on my outline, no. Okay, but you're all making your way into bed, on floor, on couch, on bed. It's been a long day. I feel like I say that with every turn of the day for this campaign, but it's been a long day for all of you. And as you settle in to just sleep this one off, or not sleep, Mateo, why don't you make your insomnia roll?
Okay. So that's a 3.
Is that a good or a bad?
I mean, it's out of 10, so I mean that's not great. But I do get some sleep.
Okay.
It's just shitty because I keep waking up and seeing that Aebis is there, and then at some point I remember I don't have a second eyeball, and I'm like, I don't want to leave this like on the counter for someone to find at some point, so I go and get the eyeball and put it back in, and then go back to bed.
Sure. And I think, yeah, to your point, you don't sleep consistently throughout the night. And I think at one point you're awake and you can hear Aebis muttering to himself from under his blanket on his chair. You can't quite make out what he's saying, but he doesn't sound happy. He sounds maybe, you can't tell if he's sleep talking or not. He's not talking at you. He's not seeming to ask for any response. He's just muttering and mumbling before going quiet again.
Can I make any of it out?
If
If I try?
you roll, perception well enough, we'll see what he's saying.
Okay.
First roll of the
My second roll.
session.
My sleepy time rolls. So that was a 3 plus 1, so 4.
Oh dear God.
You hear him mutter the word home a couple of times. And you hear him mutter the words not again. And that's about it.
It's a lot for a 4. Damn, what's he talking about over there?
Oh, you think.
I could have got a whole monologue.
Yeah, you might have. Yeah, you might have gotten something. But that's a 4, so you get 2.5 words.
Hate this guy.
Why? What has he ever done to you? All Momori wants from life is for her friends to like each other.
Mateo doesn't trust his ass.
Damn.
Probably
Damn.
shouldn't, but yes.
Sildra,
Mm-hmm.
make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Here we go.
Why? I'm so stressed. Why all this while we're sleeping?
Every night. That's an 8.
Out of like 20?
Out of 20.
Yeah, okay. It's the same dream as the last 2 nights now. Of you seeing these familiar scenes of Hearth and the teachers, and that transition from amber to green and back again. This time you have a little bit more agency as you walk around Hearth and you walk past the town center and up the grand staircase to the estates. And you take in the estates themselves as they shimmer that iridescent, petrified stone color. And as you turn around to look out across the rest of Hearth, you see the rest of the town start to shimmer and petrify as well. And when you wake up, that feeling of dread that you've been waking up with the last few nights has maybe a bit more context than it did before.
They kind of remember these recurring dreams, like throughout their adventures, but knowing the concrete implications of them now, they're really tossing and turning.
Yeah, you sleep fitfully, for sure. But the next day comes and the sun starts to sneak in through the cracks in the blinds and the windows of Thistia's home. And soon enough, you all hear her getting up and getting her day started, right before those first rays of sunlight start pouring in, as she gets the bakery up and running for the morning workers. How are y'all doing?
Momori doesn't want to get up.
Their back hurts from sleeping on the floor. This is not as comfy as sleeping in a field. They had bad dreams. They slept with, what did Momori put on them?
I don't know, a wool blanket.
They have a tiny blanket.
It's not tiny, it's person sized.
It is a tiny blanket.
Oh my god. Alright, fine.
Sildra is long, it maybe not fully covers your toes.
They have some toes poking through. They're not curled up or anything. They're sprawled.
Family Guy death pose.
Exactly.
Oh, bless.
They rise up like the living dead, and they very much look like they should be dead. How's everyone else doing?
I imagine that Aebis wakes up to see Mateo, who has been awake for the past hour, and he's just lounging on this lounge chair like a Roman senator and staring at him.
With his eye back in their head?
Yes, yeah. He put that in around 2 a.m. probably.
Okay, good. Because that would have been a haunting thing to wake up to. It's not a whole lot better having a bright, brilliant blue glass eye staring at you first thing in the morning. I think he rubs his eyes and kind of jumps when he sees you just kind of staring him down. He's like, "Jeez. Morning to you too, I guess."
You're talking your sleep.
You were listening to me sleep?
It was hard to ignore.
Okay, I'm officially weirded out. First thing in the morning. I think I'm gonna go help Miss Thistia with whatever the hell she's doing. And just walks past you. Mateo just kind of like looking over his shoulder at you like, what the was that?
My God.
The smell of breakfast is starting to waft through Thistia's small home as the two girls, Holly and Wendy, start tearing through the house, ready to get their day started and helping Thistia in the kitchen with getting breakfast on the table for everyone.
All right, when food happens, Momori, who was trying desperately to continue to sleep despite all of this nonsense happening, and just kind of like curled up in bed when she smells that food, she also lifts up like the living dead and trudges into the kitchen to figure out what's up.
I
with
would
breakfast.
also like to mention that Sildra was snoring the night previous. I don't know if that would have kept her up.
I feel like it did at first, and then Momori was able to sleep. Not every single one of our characters has tortured sleep moments, all right? Momori slept great. Despite this, despite it being hard to get to sleep, Momori slept amazing. It was
Despite
fine.
everything.
Yeah, despite all of this, despite the world potentially ending and arguments and Sildra noises, Momori was really tired. So Momori slept fine.
Happy for her. Happy she gets this.
Thanks, Grace.
So happy for Momori.
Good for her.
The group of you make your way into the kitchen at your own rate. Thistia can't really wait for everyone to get to the table before she has to make her way to her baking station to start putting out the morning orders for fresh rolls, fresh, this and that's, pastries and such. She's got her hair pulled up. She's, getting to work, rolling out some dough and getting the ovens going. She smiles at everyone as they walk in. She's like, all right, help yourselves. And then, I think, and she pulls out a sealed letter from her gown. She puts it on the table as you are all working away at your breakfasts. She says, this was on the doorstep this morning. And I believe, and she hands it over to you, Momori. She says, I believe I know who this is for.
Momori takes it in her hands, confused, and looks at it. Does it say her name on it?
It does say to Mateo, Momori, and Sildra with a waxed seal with that stylized pine cone shape with the sword running through it.
Friggin' okay, Momori rips it open. What does it say, Grace? People better not have left us.
The letter is written in a very neat script. Sildra, you recognize it as Ithaco's very neat, practiced hand. The letter says, we apologize for yesterday. And we appreciate your discretion in this matter. The handwriting changes to Athatria's very messy scrawl. Mateo, you will be in charge of the library for the foreseeable future. Keep it up and running. You are to direct the aides in their daily duties and arrange as you see fit. The script changes again to Zephyrius's differently messy scrawl. Momori, just work on filling out the last of my commissions, and if anyone comes up asking for any new projects, Tell him the forge is closed until I decide it's not closed anymore. The script flips back to Ithaco's hand. Sildra, dear, if you wouldn't mind watering the plants in the greenhouse. I know you know which ones need the most attention, but just in case, I've left a little schematic for you to follow. This is not to say that we are leaving, per se, but we're going to be rather occupied for the next few days, and would greatly appreciate it if you all were able to take over in our stead. We will be in touch soon. And the letter is signed from the 3 of your teachers.
Well, this is total garbage. Momori, sets it on the table.
Holly and Wendy come up to you, Momori, and start kind of tugging on your cloak. They're like, whoa, she's steamed, isn't she? Oh man, she doesn't normally get this way. Hey, Momori, why you bothered, huh? What's going on? Can we see? And they're trying to peek at the letter.
No.
Mateo pulls it away from them.
No, yes, I am slightly peeved at someone in particular who has decided to take an unexpected vacation without saying goodbye, and also with no explanation. So Momori sighs and puts her hands on Holly and Wendy's heads, respectively. All right. I might do to take over the deliveries for me for the foreseeable future. I might have to hunt a nerd old man down. So I need you guys to pick up the slack while I'm gone. Help your mom out. You think you can do that?
You get 2 very sharp salutes. Wendy goes to grab her fake sword stick that she was stabbing her sister with last night, and brings it over to you. She's like, for your mission.
Momori sits very gravely and nods.
Sildra's frantically looking over this letter, trying to find any hint of are they just locked away in their studies, or because they said they're not leaving, but they're also, you know what? Sildra's just gonna run out the door and try and go to Ithaco's estates.
Yeah, well, wait for Momori, because she's right on your heel.
They're just going. They have no concept of what's going on around them right now. They read the letter and just booked it without a word.
All right. Yep.
Mateo's gonna follow after. Did Sildra take the letter?
Nope.
Okay, so Mateo's gonna take it and fold it up and put it in his bag, because we're not leaving evidence here.
The responsible one.
Yeah, I don't know that necessarily, Momori, you were reading it out loud. I think Aebis is also trying to crane his neck over the table to see what's got the 3 of you guys running out the door. He's like, is everything okay?
Momori's left at this point. I'm sorry. Avis saw Momori and Sildra read this letter, and then both of them just run out the door after Momori said something or another about hunting an old man down.
Mateo says to him, just stay out of trouble, and goes after the 2 of them.
All 3 of you are racing from Vistia's home in the center up the staircase to the estates. Their front door is locked when you go to try it. Does not open when you bang on it, trying to get a response.
Are the windows locked?
The windows are locked.
Are the
They've
second
learned
story
lesson.
windows locked?
Dear God.
The windows are locked. Unless you want to do a take a chance with a roll.
I guess I'll try for the third story then.
Oh my god,
God.
Kev! God damn it. Fine.
Mateo takes out his slingshot.
Momori is going over to the forge and going to see if Zeph is there. He wouldn't normally be. I mean, he might be sleeping in, but you know what I'm saying. Like he would. These are the only two places she knows to like look for him.
Is what role is this? Is this strength, dexterity?
How are you trying to get in?
Imagine a lizard climbing up a wall.
Oh my god!
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Okay. I don't know. For
You don't know
lizard,
what-
is
Wait,
that
do it,
strength
do
or
it.
dexterity? Is that finger strength or is that trying to like parkour dexterity?
I guess finger strength?
Oh, disgusting! Disgusting!
Well, I rolled an 18. That's a -1, so that's a 17.
Fuck you, Kev.
Sildra is lizarding.
Feral child.
Can't believe this shit. Sildra, on a 17, you scramble your way up the front facade of the teacher's home. And you're able to find footholds in window boxes and sticking out pieces of rock as you make your way to a window ledge up on the 3rd floor. There's a little walkout balcony that is closed that you can see in through. And you're able to look through the glass and iron doorway into a room. It looks like it's filled with paintings and instruments and workshop tables of masterful quality, from what you can tell. And on the far, far end of the room, you see a large portrait of Ithaco, Ephatria, and Zephyrius dressed in important looking garb that is way different from the fashions of Hearth and the surrounding area. They are wearing big silk looking fabrics with elaborate hairstyles and headpieces and jewelry, all a matched brilliant green with pine embroidery running throughout.
Sildra, do you see anything up there?
Some weird clothes on in there.
But you don't see them?
No.
Okay.
Can I open the window?
You cannot,
Shit.
and you will have to roll to get back down.
Dear God.
Bullshit.
Momori, you're standing outside of Zephyrius's forge, and you put your hand to the door, and it gives way. There's no one inside. The fires are quiet. It's the neatest you've ever seen it.
Oh.
Any lingering trash piles that Zephyrius has left to accumulate have been done away with. His projects are sitting lined up in neat piles with written instructions for each. But he is not in the forge. And neither is the project he was going to have you work on.
Yeah. Mori picks up the nearest hammer to her. And she just stares at it, grimaces, and then throws it to the floor. Momori returns. He's not there. Momori turns to Mateo. Did Sildra find anything?
I guess not. Sildra, are you coming down?
You hear a sound
God.
of them. Oh, what do you call it? Hacking up spit. And they
Ew.
spit a fireball at the window. Or firebolt at the window.
You spit like a... Oh my god, nasty.
Their
Roll for
hands are
nasty.
occupied. Their
What?
hands are occupied. They
Oh
don't
my
want to
God.
get glass shards in their shoes. They're going to
God.
spit a firebolt.
God, roll to spit fireball. What do you have to... I don't know, roll your fireball roll. I can't believe this.
Okay, firebolts. That's 14 total. For hitting. Like, an object that's made out of glass is a 13 AC, so I guess that would hit.
Sildra, you spit this gross loogie of a fireball. With surprising aim and accuracy as it makes its mark on the glass doors in front of you. And the glass does not shatter, but the doors do give way with the force of it. One of them creaks off of its hinges and opens up for you. The painted faces of your teachers from a time long past stares back at you from across the room.
Story Hoard is produced by Grace, Maddie, Margaret, and Kev. Our theme song was written and composed by Vocal Outburst. Follow for updates and artwork on Twitter and Tumblr at StoryHoardPod, or visit our website at storyhoard.card.co. You can find all these links and more in the description of this episode.
Kill.
No, leave it.
I won't now. I won't kill him, but Mateo has his finger on the trigger if he fucking does
We have
anything.
Dear God.
We have a full range here. We have Maddie, who is endeared by him, and then we have Mateo, who is just
This guy.
does not trust.
I trust this 30-year-old man.
Aebis is late 20s, come on! How could you not trust Discount Indiana Jones? It's not like he brought us the relics that will cause the end of the world, and also we just met him yesterday.
I just really need to get back to my relics. For totally innocent purposes, I need to get back to my relics right now.
Man
Okay,
has a
bud.
passion.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh. I'm the blood open door. Meanwhile Momori. Like Mateo's like
Is Mateo Elsa?
yeah, in that scenario, I guess.
What does that make Sildra?
Oh my god.
You can be the one that talks to the reindeer.
Olaf?
No! Yes, Olaf. That's
Sildra
right.
is Olaf. So it has been written.